Hey, it's Ken! Okay. Apparently, the last video I did got a response. So, I have to do... It's a continuation, but of women and their things that they do that they think men don't know about. Well, I found this list. Or it found me, I should say. And it talks about the 10 for a happy pregnancy and things are going after. I thought the childbirth, you know, childbirth is it's nature. It's giving, you're giving birth to another person. You created your body created another one of itself and made it. It's like it's the production line. Well, here's the thing. I used to think that. I told my mom one day. I said, childbirth is a simple, gentle act of nature. And she looked right at me with a straight face and went, had to have been a guy that said that. I'm like, why would you? She goes, if you guys were to give birth, no. She goes, first of all, you men would not survive your first period. She goes, you would call off sick. You would think you were dying. And I'm like, well, if I had blood hemorrhaging from my crotch, I thought I would be dying. She goes, I'm serious. She goes, you guys could not handle it. Which, that's when I parried her argument and said, let me see you walk around, 18 years old, with an erection. That you could hang a bucket of coal off the tip of it, and you have to hide that thing. I'm like, it's not easy, and it's painful. Especially if you were me in high school. Every time I sat down, it came up. I think I probably had an erection every hour in high school. It drove me nuts. I don't know why I had so many of them. Oh, I figured my doctor told me that I'll probably never need Viagra just because it works. So, my plumbing is doing just fine. But then she parried that by telling me, you think it's bad enough when you have this happening? I'm like, yeah. She goes, just imagine getting all hot and bothered. I'm like, yeah, that kind of is what happens with a guy. He gets, all fired up. She went, do you know what happens to girls? I went, now mind you, I was like 15 at the time. And I'm like, no, huh? She goes, we get wet. And I'm like, okay. She goes, you feel like you pissed yourself. And I'm like, told you, my mom doesn't hold back. She spells everything out. There's not a lot of guesswork. So, yeah, I gotta get a haircut soon. Isn't that lovely? Look, I have just a little bit of blonde left. I gotta get my highlights put back in. Anyway, so, that's why I'm wearing a hat. So, anyway, I always wear a hat. But anyway, moving on. So, her and I had this discussion. Mine, I was down years ago. And I'm like, really? Well, now have I gotten older and a lot of female friends of mine tell me about how this all works. I mean, I know how it works, but the after part, I just figured, oh, you're going to be sore for a couple of days, weeks. Go home, take care, start your new chapter of your life, good for you. No, there's apparently an entirely different realm of reality of after childbirth that I am very much unfamiliar with. And when you are a guy, you live with a guy, you don't get to see this part. Unless you watch TLC, provided you watch it. But anyway, so I'm going to go over this thing and let you guys know. This little thing I found, a friend of mine on Facebook that I recently friended posted this, and I roared over it. But something tells me it is pretty accurate. And if it is actually the truth of the matter, and there's no exaggeration here, I have a newfound respect for every mother out there because kudos to you, because this is a lot to deal with. Like the first one says, after you give birth, and your body starts the healing process and putting everything back together, it says you will have a very heavy period. It says no matter how you give birth, C-section or vajayjay, as they're writing it, it says you will have postpartum bleeding. This delightful discharge is called Lochia, L-O-C-H-I-A, Locha, I guess. I don't know. I didn't do that great in English in high school, so bear with me. And it sounds about as appealing as it is. It lasts as little as 2 to 3 weeks, or as long as 6 to 8 weeks after birth. The best part is you've given giant I can't read this right. Anyway, you're given these thunder pads in the hospital because you can't use tampons during this time. They can actually introduce bacteria into your healing uterus. So you have the added pleasure of feeling like a 15-year-old girl from 1974. And I did have someone let me know these pads are enormous. Like, they're huge. Will admit I've worn one of my mother's pads once. She got the little. Now they weren't panty liners. They were like those things that they look like an hourglass sort of. They had wings on them. And I didn't know you're supposed to stick them to your underwear and not yourself. So I walked around the house when I was like 5 with the sticky stuff like on my inner thighs, and I couldn't walk around because it hurt like a son of a gun. So yeah, I said, I don't know how you wear these things. She's like, you're not supposed to be wearing them. So yeah, her airplane stickers. So let's see here, what else? So now we're up to your crotch may be a mess. You may be dealing with a swollen, stitched up, mighty mess that even Stephen King couldn't dream of. There are a variety of elixirs and contraceptives to help ease the horror, including salt baths, frozen bags of peas, and a little water bottle that you squirt on yourself while you pee. In my experience, I have found that it's best to not look. It was actually worse than I thought it could ever be. Dear God, so bad. Really? Like, I'm sure things are not exactly, exquisite down there, but they're that bad that, I don't know, me being the gross guy that I am, and not that I'm a pervert, but alright, I admit it, I am. I would be looking at, I'd probably sit there and mess with it, just because I can't keep my hands off myself. So, okay, you're still fat. This is number 3. It says, you will need clothes after you've had the kid because you will be sort of second trimester doughy for a while. Yet, it says, this is yet another reason why I hate it says the damn supermodel asshats that are wafer thin 10 minutes after giving birth because it isn't realistic. Okay, I'll give you that one. I will admit, because my mom was 85 pounds when she got pregnant with me, and then whenever she gave birth, she was 144, and whenever you lose a chunk obviously, but you're not quite back where you were. But then again, your hips have to widen out to carry the baby, so. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little hung up on this whole your crotch is a mighty mess. That would be interesting. Just because I would be curious to see how much of a mess. See that one, and I'm drummed up that one actually is. That's a good one. But the fat one, I kind of see that. I mean, you got to give your body a chance to about 9 months to get that far, and now here we go again. Then you get these women who have like, oh, someone's calling me. Who is it? I don't know who that even is. Hello? Yes, it is. Sorry, phone call, and I had to take it. So anyway, let's get back to this whole thing. I don't know. I'm learning that I'm only like halfway through the list, and the fact that I'm weird. I would be really interested to know just how bad it gets down here. Not that I would. I don't know. I'm just nosy that way. So anyway, I gotta get a haircut. So anyway, okay, your hair might fall out. It says, I know. Don't you feel pretty now? So here are some So now here you are, all postpartum and doughy, and to add insult to injury, you might start losing your hair. Here you are, all excited about your luscious locks while you were pregnant. Well, sorry, Cinderella, but the party's over, and the hair fairy wants her glass slippers back. This is one of those delightful hormone side effects that can come with giving birth. At least there will be less to worry about when pulling your hair up in your new mom crack ponytail. Really? That's interesting. I didn't know your hair falls out. I know when your thyroid goes that can happen, or when you take medications, some that can happen. But really, giving birth widens your hips, pack on weight, and your hair falls out, and you get depressed. Wow. Okay. I'm a little thrown on that one, I will admit. I'll come back to that second, so I gotta digest that a little bit more thoroughly. So, breastfeeding might be difficult. My mom didn't breastfeed me. So technically, my lips never saw those. If that... I don't know why she didn't do it either. It's funny. Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, breastfeeding might be difficult. If you choose to breastfeed your baby, be prepared for a little bit of work. Not everybody has some ride, including me, has a smooth ride. I cannot read. And it can be anything from soft, bonding, vigilance. I'm not saying it wrong. They plaster, basically the whole, breast is better pamphlets. The good news is, once you're over the hump, it's pretty maintenance-free, and you can never forget your baby's lunch on the counter. If you have an easy time of it, awesome. Don't brag, though. You're liable to be beaten to death with bagaboo strollers by hormonal mothers in the park. Really? Gets violent over breast milk. Well, someone a little sensitive. You might hit your husband. I have two theories of nature. One, babies look like their fathers, which they are born, so the father is assured that the baby is his and won't take off. Two, nature takes care of you not conceiving right after giving birth by making you want to punch him in the face every time you see him. Again, it's probably hormone related. Again, this isn't always the case, but I'm just warning you that you might stare at his peaceful sleeping face at 2 a.m. wondering what the hell's the point of him and how can that SOB just lie there sleeping like while I think they wrote that wrong. Sleeping like while you try to get your baby to sleep for the umpteenth time. You're not alone, and a jury full of mothers with newborns wouldn't convict you if you blundered him to death with a breast pump. That said, he may be worth keeping around, so take a deep breath and ignore the urge. For now. Really. Then it says here, you might be hot. Or not. Not hot good. Gross, sweaty, fat man hot. Thank your hormones once again. They may be to blame for giving you hot flashes and making you feel like a high noon whore. Really? This is just messed up. Nothing says sexy like a woman with 20 pounds of extra baby weight who's losing her hair and walking around like she just ran for a bus. I'm adding that to my theory of nature's birth control among with number 7. Wow. Hard boobs. Hard. See, okay. You know those crazy porn boobs that you see some women that are just gigantic and don't move? No? Well, try skipping a feeding while you're nursing, and you will have a pretty good idea of what that's like. It sounds cool, but it isn't so. It isn't so. Don't add stripper heels to your registry. Well, not for that reason anyway. Really? They get hard if you miss a feeding? Really? Ow. Okay. Pooing is scary. Oh, great. Now we're talking about the back door. Right. Cool. Okay. I saved the best for last. No matter what exit your baby used, your BM equipment, bowel movement equipment, is close by, and you'll have to use that eventually. I think the phrase tentative terror best sums up this act, and I suggest picking out extra names because you're going to want to name the first poop after you take such a tender care bringing into the world. It says gross, sorry, fact, yep. So, now, it continues. It says, however, I cannot read this right. I don't know what my problem is. Haven't I painted a pretty picture here? Aren't you looking forward to all the treats that come with motherhood? Well, thankfully, not all of them happen to everybody, and you, and everyone around you. So we'll be focused, for crying out loud, on the new little person that you'll have little time and energy to worry about much else. And hey, who cares? You made a person, a whole person. It doesn't matter if you're surely swirly, bald, sweating garden slug for a while. I can't read. Think seriously. This makes me like I got a 7th grade reading level. But I even lost my train. Where am I at? We're gonna start here. Well, be thankful not all of this happens to everybody, and you and everyone around you will be focused on. Will be so focused on the new little person that you'll have very little time and energy to worry about much else. And hey, who cares? You made a person, a whole person. It doesn't matter if you're a surly, I'm not saying that word right, I'm sure. A surely bald, sweaty garden slug for a while. You just performed a miracle. So unless you're booked to walk the runway in your underpants in 2 weeks, don't worry about it. And tell anyone who says otherwise to eat. Number 2. Hey, you can always blame it on your hormones. And seriously, don't get scared. You may get off easy, and none of these things may be any great degree. I can't finish this. And you're really, really, really lucky you'll have a birth like my friend. Really. So anyway, but that's the little thing there. And I read it, and I thought it was kind of funny. And then I realized there's all that involved. I always thought that, the hormones, the postpartum, and whatnot. But, I guess maybe because, like, when women get pregnant, they have the morning sickness. And when I was a kid, I used to have this dry heaving thing where I would want to throw up every morning. I wasn't like bulimic or anything. Like, it wasn't like anorexic or anything. I just could not eat food in the morning. I just couldn't do it. So anyway, but yeah, I now have a newfound respect for that, and now I feel like I should call my mother and maybe give her a week treatment in a spa somewhere like Nemacolin or something. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I read that and I laughed through it, and I thought I gotta do a video on this because somebody was like, they were getting such a big kick out of my other video. They're like, this is funny. I'm like, women. I'm not saying you guys don't have your issues. Guys have their problems too. Trust me. I'm a guy. It hasn't been a smooth ride being me. So this is really bugging me. I'm getting wings here. So anyway, I'll keep this one under 10 minutes. So you guys be good. And I'll get something uploaded here soon, but I had to share that with you about this whole thing involving after birth. The things that people go through. They ought to have a family. Wow. Cool. Well, kudos to you. I have a newfound respect for all the women out there who have had babies. So, especially when you have, like, the Duggars on, like, their 18th one. She's gone through, oh, Lord. Brave woman. So, alright. See, that just completely derails me there. So, at any rate. Alright, people. I'm way over my time. Yeah, I thought it'd be at 10 minutes, but I realized there's 2 videos I did because I took a phone call, so this is going to be, like, a lot longer than 10 minutes. Shoot. Oh, well. You guys be good. I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Toodles. Keep rocking. Bye. Ah!